Good Thursday morning. Welcome to your WFB First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Henry Blakes, and I'll be giving you a quick forecast as we go throughout the rest of your day and into the weekend. But for the moment, the good news is that our weather is looking great across South Louisiana and Southwest Mississippi. Here's a look at the Mississippi River, Baton Rouge. Look at that, just a few fair weather clouds, but overall no rain, and conditions are looking rather decent at the moment. You'll notice we're already up to 85 degrees. We're up 5 degrees from the past hour. The wind is light out of the east-northeast. Dew points only at 70 degrees, so it doesn't really feel all that bad as far as the heat is concerned out there. But one thing you are going to notice is that our temperatures are quickly falling, or rather rising into the mid-80s. Those will likely become upper 80s, if not lower 90s, as we go throughout the afternoon. And it already feels like 91 degrees in Houma, 90 degrees what it feels like in both Lafayette and New Iberia. Not far behind here in the Baton Rouge area, but eventually we too could see those low 90s pop up later this afternoon between the 3 and 5 o'clock hour. That's for the dew points, mostly 60s and a few low 70s. But notice some very dry air from Hattiesburg into Hammond, even Macomb, only 58 degree dew points, so not the worst of heat, but still we are unseasonably warm to say that we should be in the mid 80s for our highs. But right now we are already well near or above that normal right now. Not much going on the radar and satellite this morning. We do have a few showers starting to pop up in parts of Lafourche and Terrebonne Parish, and a little bit of activity well off to the east in the Gulf. This will be gradually making its way westward. That could bring some of us a couple of spotty showers and maybe a rumble of thunder later on today, but I'm not expecting any widespread rain, at least not yet. You may notice a little bit of activity well off in the Sunshine State. That's a tropical wave, and that could be giving us a little bit of activity along the Gulf Coast over the next couple of days. But at the moment, not expecting anything significant for the next 24 hours at least. But one thing you are going to notice as we look on the future cast, we are going to get some moisture pushing in from the east. Low pressure could be developing in the Gulf. Not expecting that to be any type of tropical low, but that moisture, in addition to the tropical wave to our east, is going to come together and give us some additional cloud cover and better chances for rain. Now, where things are going to be starting off, it looks like for our coastal parishes, unfortunately, could be dealing with some off and on showers, maybe a few thunderstorms as we go into the weekend and early next week. And that could potentially lead to some gusty wind as well as some minor coastal flooding and marine issues, but not expecting that to be anything turbulent for the moment. Now, you may notice we do have a cool front well up to our north. Don't give your hopes up, folks. That's where it is going to stay. It's not going to reach us here across the deep south, which means we won't get any type of nice fall-like weather for the time being. So residents in the northern parts of the nation, they are going to be fortunate enough to get a little bit of a cool down. But instead for us, we are going to be topping out in the upper 80s and low 90s again across South Louisiana for this afternoon. And can't rule out a spotty shower or two, kind of similar to what we had yesterday. Few residents in EVR Parish picked up on a couple of raindrops, and that's about as best as any of us are going to get for today. Notice for your Friday morning heading out the door, not much happening. We are going to have some cloud cover, maybe some wet weather near the mouth of the Mississippi River and extending up close to Lake Pontchartrain. But watch what happens as we go into the afternoon. Could be seeing a bit of development with scatter showers along our coastal parishes, and it's going to kind of intensify as we go into the weekend. In fact, not the best weekend to go down to the coast and get out on the waters, because there is potential for widespread rain for our coastal parishes and maybe even some strong gusty winds. So not ideal boating conditions, and that extends all the way up into Mississippi as well. So those best chances are going to be for our coastal parishes, and we already have small craft advisories that go into effect at noon today, continue until midnight Sunday for practically all of our coastal parishes and into southern Mississippi as well as Alabama. So we're talking about winds possibly anywhere from 15 to 25 knots, maybe some 30 knot gusts as well. So it is going to be blustery out there, in addition to the potential for heavier accumulations, anywhere from 2, maybe 3 or more inches. That goes from New Orleans down to the mouth of the Mississippi River and travels along the coast. So that's where the higher rain amounts are going to be. The farther inland you go, the rain accumulation chances get lower as far as the totals, but we will still have chances of rain coming into the forecast for our inland areas, Baton Rouge included. That is going to kind of be on hold at least until Sunday and into Monday. So that could be impacting our weekend plans as well. Not necessarily for Saturday, but the second half of the weekend. Looking at the tropics, here's what's left of Imelda. It's lost its tropical characteristics, finally moving away from Bermuda after pretty much taking a direct hit from that storm. A little farther to the south, we got some activity, as I mentioned, that tropical wave off the Florida coast in the western Atlantic. That is going to try to make its way into the Gulf and has a very low chance of undergoing further intensity, but still something to watch because that's going to likely bring widespread rain to parts of the Gulf Coast. So the National Hurricane Center, at least for the next 2 days, has a low 10% chance of this developing into anything further tropical. But nonetheless, it is still going to bring widespread rain to the Sunshine State and extending into Louisiana, with the rain especially for the coastal parishes and counties. Now, as we look at the next 7 days, still a 10% chance, but also we're going to have to watch the Atlantic. Once again, another tropical wave out there has a low chance of further development as well. So thankfully the chances are low, but the showers and storm potentials are still going to be there. But at the moment, if you have any plans the weekend, Saturday, just a low chance of an isolated shower or storm. Looking pretty good overall. No need for the rain gear today through Saturday. Sunday, we'll be watching that across South Louisiana for increasing rain chances, especially for our coastal parishes over the next coming days. Thanks so much for tuning in for your First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Henry Blakes, and be sure to watch 9 News at noon because Jeff Morrow will have the latest on your weekend and extended forecast.